A lot of us cook the same things over and over. Sometimes that's comforting, but sometimes you're just stuck in a rut. We'd like to try something new, but we get overwhelmed by all the choices out there. Flavorprint's changing how people cook by introducing a new way of discovering recipes. It looks at recipes based on flavor, not on ingredient or genre or type. And when you think about it, that's how we like the foods that we like.
There have been algorithms to help people discover new music, new movies, but no one had figured out how to do that for food. What's really great about Flavorprint is that it allows people to both identify which flavors and dishes they love and use it to lead them to a new flavor. We designed the system so that each person has a flavor print and each recipe has a flavor print.
Those two things together work on the site to show you, oh, I spike on spicy, I spike on nutty, so does this recipe, and I can tell that it's gonna be for me.
I open Flavorprint and it recommends a pick for dinner. I'm confident this is a recipe that my family and I will love, so I add the ingredients to a list and I'm on my way.
We broke down all flavors into 33 basic ones, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you can combine those into millions of different recipes.
The Mark takes flavor science, which understands flavor in hundreds of dimensions, and simplifies it into an intuitive visual representation.
We had a very close collaboration between our data scientists, the flavor scientists at McCormick, and a visual design team. What resulted was a flavor print that is visually stunning and very legible to customers. Just like a vegan mark or a kosher mark, Flavorprint will eventually become a recognizable symbol on packaging.
Flavorprint to me demystifies what people love about those flavors and why they want to use them again. So this allows them to go in and try a new recipe based on ones that they've tried before and liked, and really delight their family with a new option.
The algorithm gets smarter over time. The more you interact with the service, the more that the recommendations become tailored to you.
We designed it so that it would be responsive, so that it could live across whatever device you have in your hand, whether that's your mobile phone that you're using in store so that you can pull up a recipe right then and there, or if you're in your kitchen and you're using your tablet, you have that recipe right on your countertop.
Flavorprint puts the consumer completely in the center of everything that we do, which is to help consumers discover flavorful food. Yeah, they're really important as we focus around the connected consumer. And that's really what's changing within the industry. We're hugely challenged with growth and how to grow. And consumer connectivity is opening up new opportunities. And to get to those consumers, you can't necessarily drive them to you. So you have to be in a position to bring what you do to them in new ways. You know, as we've seen over the last few years, we're more saturated from a distribution standpoint. We have to increase consumption. Now the good news is we have opportunity to do that. We have a really fundamental strategy question around how are we going to grow in these, particularly in our Western markets where we're really established. And we just sat down and took a really hard look at what could we do. And we looked at a series of trends around the connected consumer and some of the behaviors that were emerging. You know, we found that consumers were looking for more variety in what they were eating. We had answers to those questions. We could meet needs that were very there and present at scale. And but doing it digitally was where the difference was. And so it was just this need to answer that strategic question. Where we're at is we understand the value to the consumer. We know it meets a consumer need. We know that it creates a stacked win for the different participants in the ecosystem. It meets the consumer need. They get food solutions that they'll love. Perfect. It meets the McCormick need because consumers are cooking with more flavor. They're bringing more variety into their food choices. Our ship rises with that tide. The third piece of it in the stacked win is for the retailer. You're causing consumers to think more in terms of solutions. The data we have suggests that basket grows. Okay, so now you've solved the challenge of growth for McCormick, you've solved the challenge of growth for the retailer, and you've delighted the consumer.